This is why you're inconsistent. If you're anything like me, then this is why you're inconsistent. And what it has to do with is one thing that you've been ignoring this entire time that you're just probably not even tapped into or thinking this has anything to do with why you've been inconsistent with the thing that you know you want to try and put your all into. Although if you have ADHD, you never want to put your all into anything. You want to put your some of yourself. You want to put some and parts into many different things. You want to put your parts into all. But this is why you're inconsistent. And it has to do with one thing: rhythm. Rhythms, your internal rhythms. We, as ADHD people, are not metronomes. We are not keeping time for anybody. It's an illusion, it's a construct, and we are blind to it. Although somehow we're able to sense when things need to happen. Procrastination is not this love of living on the edge. Procrastination is wanting to squeeze the most out of your time. And a lot, only what's needed for that thing. It's about needing to feel a kick in the groin about that thing, a punch in the gut about that thing, and its urgency and its relevancy to your life right now before you can act. Why? Because we see the value in doing so many things. And one of those things may not be that at that time. So it's just not where that rim shot is going to go in the rhythmic piece, in the rhythmic jazz piece, the experimental jazz piece that is our life right now. And I need you to understand that, because you've been beating yourself up about why you don't feel like doing things at a certain time. And you've been trying to do time blocking, like how the productivity coaches say, do time blocking and just tell yourself to do things at a certain time. Now, one caveat of this method is that if you don't get to it, you move it to another part in time. But that is what you've been trying to do. You've been trying to structure your life in a way that doesn't fit in with your internal rhythms. And so I'm talking to you like how I talk to myself. This is why I'm raising my voice. I'm talking to myself this way because it is the most loving thing I can do to try to break you free of the constructs that this whole society put on you for its benefit. But guess what? It didn't plan for you. It didn't plan for you. You are not planned for. You are the illegitimate child of society and its constructs, okay? So because of this, you don't fit in. Hello, square peg. How are you doing today? So once you realize that you need to be guided by your internal rhythms, your life will open up in a whole new way and things will fall away. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that everything will just fall magically into place in terms of everything you have going on now, because maybe some of those things just don't fit. That's why so many ADHD people have their own businesses and are freelancers, or just do things where they have this flexibility in life because they can flow with their natural rhythms. Now, I'm kind of like in this weird space right now, and I've been in such a weird space today, and I think it may have to do with many different things. Perimenopause. I did a video on that. I haven't posted it yet because I'm trying to figure out the editing of it, and I don't go too deep into it anyway. But ADHD and perimenopause do affect one another, and perimenopause affects ADHD and can give you the symptoms of ADHD even when you don't have ADHD. but I'm like, hello, welcome to my life. This is what I've been experiencing every single day of my life without even knowing it. And some days feel great. Why? Because I just flow with my internal rhythms. And when I do that, life feels like it's worth living. And I no longer feel like someone is trying to cramp me into a box and literally take away all of my breath, and suffocate me with their schedules that don't even make sense and that don't allow me to work at my optimal. So I had a goal today, and I'm learning, don't try to squeeze too much into a short amount of time. We often make that mistake as people with ADHD because we experience time blindness. So you might think that you're going to go to the library and be super productive and get like 12 things done, when really you need to break that down. I'm not going to say break it down into smaller steps. No, but you need to remove 10 of those things off of your list and have 2 things that you're definitely going to have. 1 thing that you're absolutely going to get done, the second thing that you're going to get done, and the third thing that's a bonus. And then that's absolutely it. And because you're going to wander. Unless you are on drugs, or unless you're just super hyper focused that day, or maybe your nutrition is on top 10 and that day just worked out for you perfectly. Because I don't want to make it seem like there's a bunch of things that you can do right and you're ever going to escape the symptoms of this beautiful, complicated, difficult condition. Because then that'd be putting the blame on you. And I'm sorry, honey, you were just born this way. You're just born this way. Deal with it. But we're going to get through it together. That's why I'm here. So you're understanding this about yourself, right? So today, library. Okay, I got the 2 things done. I know now not to put too many things on my list, but I still forget sometimes. Why? Because I'm not going to be consistent. I'm going to go with my internal rhythms. And sometimes it's not going to be perfect. You need to be okay with that. You need to be okay with sometimes things not being perfect. So, like, I might have lipstick on my teeth right now. I don't care. I took my glasses off to film this video because I think I look better without my glasses. I don't like the glasses. And so whatever imperfections are here, boom, that's what's going up. In fact, I don't even think I'm going to edit this video because, number one, I use the AI editor because ain't nobody got time for that. I'm not an editor. I've done it before. It's extremely time consuming. And I think with the output, when I say something and it's hot, I just need to put it out. I don't have time for the time it would take me to edit something to do that. So if I don't have enough credits on my AI editor, then I'm just not going to edit it, and it's going to go up like this. This is fine though. It's real, it's authentic, and done is better than perfect. That's something else you need to internalize as well. I'm still in the process of doing that. I'm a work in progress. But anyway, I'm at the library doing a thing, and because I know now, hey, internal rhythms flow. It's going to tell me when the right time for me to do something is. I end up spending most of my time here at the library on the phone with a friend, just having a conversation. And I needed to do that because it fueled the piece that I was working on. It's up on Substack now, actually. I'll put it in the description. But it fueled that, like the conversation, it got my wheels turning, and we didn't even talk about all of what I was writing about, but it's just the fact that stimulating, enlightening conversation is very healthy for me when I want to have it. When my internal rhythms tell me it's time to do that, then I didn't have to feel like, oh my God, I'm not going to get all this stuff done. I allotted plenty of time. Takes practice. It takes freaking practice, but you can learn. So that's like, my life is working out better now, and I feel more consistent because I don't put this arbitrary schedule on myself. I'm so sorry. Maybe I'll never be successful as anything having to do in media because we run on a 24-hour news cycle. We run on a very constant content creator cycle, whatever you want to call it. The output that they're asking from little old me, it just does not flow with my internal rhythms, and I'm going to put it out when I need to put it out. But guess what? I do believe this is going to reach the people that it needs to reach. I'm going to keep speaking that because as much as I know that there's a side of it that's a numbers game, I also think it's an energy game too. It's an energy game. And I believe this is going to reach who it's supposed to reach. So I'm in a part of a couple of communities. I'll put this out. Hopefully this finds your algorithm if it's for you. But this is why you're not consistent, because you're not listening to your internal rhythms. It's not a judgment. It's not a chastisement. It's not a scolding. It's basically a liberation, because you need to be liberated from all of what society tells you, all that. Yeah, you need to be on work on time and all of that. We're going to talk about designing your life in other videos, because I need to tell you how I'm designing my life and how I'm seeking out the opportunities that don't cause me to have to do that. But it involves a lot of different things. And I've talked about it before on the channel in the last ADHD playlist, which you can find. But it's like, you need to really actively, like, that is your work. Your work is to actively liberate yourself from a lot of systems that were just placed upon you and that just come and arbitrarily, and you're just born into them. You slip into them by default. And guess what? Everybody don't live life like that. Everybody does not live life like that. You know what I'm saying? There are people who live and they are based off of the seasons, and they're fine with that because it goes with their internal rhythms. They're attuned to that. When you try to put yourself and lock yourself into this 9 to 5 cycle, you will burn out. Now, I hope that doesn't happen to you. I don't know. Maybe it won't. But it happens to me, and like the sacrifice that you make to be a part of that, that's why you need to prioritize finding flexible schedules and all that. So we'll go into that, but I just wanted to do like an overview. This is why you're inconsistent, and it's not that consistency is key. Tuning in is key. Tuning in is key, because the thing is, consistency is only key because we're trying to run on that metronome. We're trying to run on that metronome, but it's like, I can't keep time. I could have never been a drummer. I can't keep time like that. I can sing. You know, like I love and I feel music. Music is the medicine for real. But I can't do that. And so when it comes to motivation and when it comes to you doing things that you want to do and balancing it with the things that you need to do, I hope and pray that you can find your internal rhythm and that you can tune in and listen. And maybe I'll even have to show some kind of exercise of how you can do that. But it has a lot to do with cutting out noise. It has a lot to do with decluttering. It has a lot to do with taking a moment and just being still in the moment and just saying, God, what do you want me to do right now? And usually I don't think there's ever a time in life that God wants you to be anxious. So you need to listen to the truth, which is that I'm okay right now. That's where affirmations come in. You know, you're like just telling yourself that all is well. All is well. All is well. Affirmative. You know what I mean? Once you can get to a place of centeredness, an idea, a vision will emerge. And you go and you do that thing. I just feel like reaching for my journal right now. You just reach for your journal. Hopefully you ordered the journal that I made. You reach for your journal and you just write a little bit, or you just feel like calling somebody and, oh, you had this whole list of things to do, but somebody's really on your mind and you feel like you just need to call them instead. And you just do that. And then you have a conversation and that conversation sparks something. Like, trust yourself. Don't just leave it all up to chance and leave it all up to what your scheduled workday is. It's okay if that's what you're doing right now. But if you ever had a vision of breaking free from that, then there are ways. There are ways. It just takes some letting go. But if you are inconsistent, do not beat yourself up over it. You were never made to do the same thing at the same time every day. Time frames, sure, but not necessarily at the same time on the dot every single day. You are made to flow through life. You are here to show people how to truly live in a non-performative way, even though you make it look so easy. It's like the world is your stage and people are just sitting back in awe of you like, dang, how did they do that? But you are made to be this light. And so continue to tune in, trust yourself. You know what I'm saying? You got this. Okay, so keep dreaming your happy dreams. And you know what? You don't have to have ADHD to like resonate with these videos. It's so not necessary, because maybe you don't have it, maybe you don't believe in it. I actually respect people who, you know, they don't want to put a label on themselves because of the stigma around it, and they know that their mind is not going to do well with having that because of the stigma around it, but they still know that these things apply to them, and they want to, you know what I'm saying? They want to hear the stories of someone who has kind of gotten through certain hurdles, and they want some strategies or some different perspectives and a new way to think about some of the things that they struggle with. So that's what I hope to continue doing, and I'll do it as my internal rhythm pushes me, and you know actually pushes me to put that information out there.